Good afternoon, everyone. Now that all our panelists are here, we can start the session. Before we started, two of our panelists are not attending today. So I just wanted to let you know that before. And Ankit More, sir, are you there?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah, so as everyone is here, let's begin today's session then. Welcome everyone to South India Business Week, Day 5 for Marketing and Branding Day. Today for our afternoon session, we have Agnes Rozario ma'am. She's a Product Marketing Manager at Techurate Systems. And we also have Ankit More sir. He's the founder of Proper Pakoda and Quantum Bits Learning and Solutions. We also have Gavin D'Souza, sir, is the group product manager for marketing at Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. We also have Sailaja ma'am. She's the director of Innovative Research Services India Private Limited. So, for today's topic of discussion, for this panel discussion, we are talking about crafting authentic brand identities, strategies for building trust and loyalty. I want to ask my first question to Agnes ma'am.
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone.
So, ma'am, what role does product marketing play in shaping a brand's identity?
I think, in simpler terms, if we say product marketing plays a very pivotal role in shaping how people see a brand, right? It is the link between a brand, between the brand's product or the services and what customers think about it, like the perseverance. Uh, what product marketing also does is it does not just markets of its features, but it also adds the brand's value, personality, and story to the product. This definitely, the entire process definitely takes a lot of effective communication that connects with the target audience, placing the product very smartly in the competitive market, creating awareness through campaigns that match the brand's overall image, right? So if we think about Apple, right, that's one company that basically revolves or has hailed product marketing and has and to build its brand identity, like their innovative designs, the simple ads, and also the focus that they have only on user experience make people see them as a symbol of top-notch quality and cutting-edge technology. If now that we're talking about Apple, we can also talk about how Nike has positioned itself, right? Nike does the same with their product marketing. They have highlighted athleticism, empowerment, and innovation in such a way that has actually given their brand a strong and aspirational identity overall.
Examples, ma'am, that is totally true. So, I have my next question for Ankit More, sir. Yeah. So, sir, how do you differentiate Proper Pakoda from other snacks brands, and what is your unique selling position, sir? Like, what is your unique identity for your brand?
Sure. Thank you for having me here, and good afternoon to all of you. So, basically, when I thought about the Proper Pakoda name, that should be, first of all, it should be on everyone's mind. So, uh, so it should be a rhyming words, something like that. It shouldn't be uh, very much unique. It should be a simple and people can resonate easily, right? Everyone knows pakoda, the name. What is the pakoda? And proper pakoda means people can obviously think of it, right? This is the right kind of preparation maybe they are doing. So before coming to the brand, they are setting up their own mind that this is a band, might be this will get to us. So that is a one kind of uh, I can say the communication method. So people are thinking that communication is like we are just communicating with each other right now, This is not the only way to communicate. The communication through your name, your brand identity, and mainly with your story. So what brings that brand comes in the market, that makes a difference, and that makes brand basically. And what I have done, so I used the color. So if आप लोग अगर बोलते हो पकोड़ा, so पकोड़ा is the Hindi word, right? So why pakoda? Because people can easily resonate. Means if अगर मैं बोलता हूँ पकोड़ा तो आपके माइंड में immediately आता है, मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है, right? So this kind of brand recall value you need to generate first of all. So, and what is the color of pakoda? That means some kind of darker yellow or orange side. So you know the color of that. So I have set the whole theme of that brand and the store in a such a way so people can easily feel that this is a kind of pakoda brand. So these kind of uniqueness you need to bring on your brand name, your story, and what you are presenting. And apart from that, one more thing I just wanted to add, that is a product. If you have a good quality of brand, but the product is not that much connected with your brand name, like if you bring a designer, a high class designer, you pay 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 1 crore to the designer, but your product is not good, and your brand doesn't matter. So you should follow some your kind of guidelines, rules. You need to set that, and you need to follow. You and your staff need to follow. These are the two things I am following right now in my brand.
That was very insightful, sir. I have to agree with all the points there. So when we give a brand name, that tells half story about a brand and what are we doing with it, right? So I have my next question for Gavin D'Souza, sir. So, sir, how does Dr. Reddy's Laboratories ensure that its various products maintain a consistent brand identity?
So thanks for the question. Good afternoon to everyone, to the viewers, respected panelists. Great to be sharing this panel with you on a very interesting topic. I think the restrictions that pharmaceuticals always has is that we do not have the 137 crore population available with us. We sort of don't have a lot of channels that we can go through to, the sort of tick of the town is that ensure that even if the customer is sleeping in the night, make sure the recall happens. Pharmaceutical marketing is definitely challenging, and moreover, ensuring brand identity, brand recall is another challenge put all together. But I think Dr. Reddy's is known for its innovative medication. It's known to bring in access for newer formulations. And I think innovation is something which Dr. Reddy's is known for. And that's a very clear identity at an organization level. And as you asked me, how do we consistently keep that across different other brands is, what Dr. Reddy stands for is what the brands also stand for eventually. I think if we go to the medical fraternity, definitely the recall would be in terms of how Dr. Reddy's is invested into newer formulations, newer innovations, and at the end of the day, solving for better patient quality of life. I think that is one way of, David Acker's model also does suggest that your brand would have a core identity, either associated to organization, features, brands, etc. From our point of view, as I said, innovation is something that we stand for. And set aside, pharmaceutical branding is sometimes considered, difficult from an area of recall at a molecule level, etc. But I think, as I would completely agree with Aniket on this, I think what story you tell, that is something that everyone recalls. We've been studying stories since childhood. I think that's how humans are built in order to have better recall. If you give a Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall is what is remembered, at least to all of us now, and I can see the panelists smiling definitely. But if you take me through some geography, ancient sort of map, I will not remember. So I think, as even Agnes mentioned, that the recall of these brands are solid because they come with a very good story. They come with an excellent product, and at the same time, at the end of the day, something that rhymes stays forever. So I think these are the few things that we also try to do in clinic in order for our brands to remain consistent, and at the same time, a remembrance is associated with this identity. That
Also, Gavin, to in line with what you've said,
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
all these brands basically sell lifestyles to us, like they sell experiences and not the product necessarily, right? That's why we go all crazy after all these brands.
So in consumer marketing, I think a lifestyle selling is very easy. Not easy, too cluttered, but pharmaceutical marketing, we've got to sell that lifestyle to the doctor, and then the doctor sells it to the patient. But all in all, I agree. I think the commonality is selling the experience is what matters, and that's what experiential marketing is building, I think, in the last decade, for that matter, beyond the product sort of marketing.
So now I have a question for Sailaja ma'am. So ma'am, how does innovative research services maintain a cohesive brand identity across its various research services?
Hi everyone. Interesting concepts shared by all of you. Already most part is covered. Aniket and Gavin have already said it. Gavin, if pharma selling is difficult, imagine services selling. We can't even boast of anything there. Okay. And we are about 20 years old company now. For us, brand building is an evolving process. And what works for us is only consistency in the quality of delivery, what we do. I mean, we don't even have products to showcase. We have to just portray the services in such a way that people can trust us. Why would anybody trust if I go and say I'm into market research? I'm going to give you qualitative, quantitative, one shop for everything. Please, there are other companies to compete with, right? There's Ipsos, there is Kantar, there is so many other big brands which are supported with lot of financial thing. But having said that, when we thought of building our brand, we went in a very slow organic process. Today we are a 20-year-old company, but when we started, it wasn't easy. So what we did was, first we said we will deliver quality, and our USP has always been quick turnaround. No matter how quickly we do, we will never compromise on quality. So this built the trust between the customer and us. And then aesthetics part followed. So we have everywhere the same color. What some just now this Aniket mentioned. What about the colors? So we keep it simple. We use the same blue and orange across our social media platforms, across our presentations, everything. Little bit we play depending on which client we are servicing. But the standardization has been ISO as something which we have stood by. And that has helped us get big giants to work with, like Bajaj, HUL, or Marico, or any other company, FMCG. We are actually mostly into FMCG, and we are also working with Cipla. We are working with, we worked with Abbott. So we do have clientele across the big banners. But to build that, what we needed was our own belief and the trust we built with each other. And then the word of mouth follows. For us, it is important. We can't showcase it as big advertisements or putting hoardings and all. That doesn't work. If I can deliver, if I come to you and you trust me for some reason, you heard from innovative research, yeah, they did this research or this was there. So it works on, that's what the mind share. Somewhere that played a role. Oh, I can relate. They have done, and we have pan-India presence. So that has helped us. So if I have to put it, one is consistency with how we delivered in the 20 years, our aesthetics, how we portray ourselves. And the third one is quick adaptability to the changing dynamism of the market. Right now, today, 20 years ago, social media was not so active. And people were still believing on primary research, which is going to the field. But now everything has come up with online. So how quickly we adapted to online. There are limitations there. We need to convince the client. Sometimes clients agree, sometimes they don't. So we have to have our operations intact. We need to build our infrastructure for that, have online research going on. What is will you believe it or not, authentic, that comes later. But at least we should have that comfort of giving it to the client. We have it online if you want it. The period of pandemic, we worked on online only research. But then slowly they realize for product placement, for getting the consumer in the rural area, it doesn't work. So we are again back on field. But yeah, did we say no to them? No. So the adaptability to the changing needs of the customer, if I am able to give it to them, I think the belief then starts rolling in more, and then we continue to evolve year on year. For me, brand has been a evolving thing in a very organized and phased manner, and the consistency because of which we delivered our team. We have a wonderful ops team with us, which is one of our USP across India. So with that, with them behind us, or whatever, with the backbone we call them, as researchers, we are able to deliver authentic and trustworthy data to the clients, and that's why we have been able to retain and keep going with them. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very intellectual. So, Agnes, ma'am, I have a question for you again. Yeah, ma'am. So, how does Techurate Systems Private Limited ensure consistency in their brand image across various products?
So at our organization, like at Techurate, what we do is we are building accessible banking to, and we are also amplifying financial inclusivity in the process of building accessible banking, right? Now, this picture that we have built is basically on the foundation of our core values, which is user centricity, simplicity, and accessibility. We think that our overall brand identity is not, it's not just about design aesthetics, but about how everything fits together and how and what works for our users, right? It is the human connections that we foster that truly solidifies our brand, whether say bringing in financial inclusivity or facilitating financial institute across geographies to make a positive impact. The seamless connections that we have built, or which our clients have experienced throughout our range of solution, which basically spans around digital, open, and virtual banking, amplify our brand narrative very cohesively, right? We have always leveraged shared messaging frameworks, and also our marketing campaigns are very centralized, right? Uh, we actively listen to the diverse customer base that we already have, and we incorporate their feedbacks to refine our products and messagings to ensure that all our brand image remains relevant and resonate with the evolving tech landscape. Because in fintech today, might be we're working on one tech, the next day, or say next 7 days down the line, there's something more innovative that comes into picture. And security and privacy being at the core center, which is in line with our user centricity, we have to be on very much in contact with our customer base to understand what their needs are. And and we have been driving a lot of customer conversations so that we are able to build that consistency in our brand image across all our products.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Aniket sir, I have a question for you. How do you communicate the brand stories and values to your customers?
Yeah. So first of all, the value comes from us only, not from brand. People always, you have to consider this, people will buy only from the person, not from the name of that brand. Okay, so you should be stand there with the strong code of values, and your staff should follow that, which I said earlier. And we are consistently following that. Actually, in my every store, we have printed our code of values, and everyone, once they come up at the store, they should read first, and then only they can open the store. That kind of consistency you need to maintain in every store in your brand. And once, see, in food industry there are many challenges, like if you started a new venture, a new store, right? People are very excited to test that one. but after some time they are bored with the same taste and same food. So innovation needs to be there. And I have started with the 6 dishes only. Now we have introduced more 14 dishes, which are, because our plan, we started in Maharashtra, our plan is to expand in whole India. So I don't know if people will resonate with the Maharashtrian taste or the South Indian taste, I don't know, right? So what I have done, that I went to the every state and tasted the 10 store. This is a typical thela. Okay, I went to the typical thela because the typical taste will come from the typical thela only, right? So I went to the every state and we introduced 14 tastes of 14 state. And we rebranded our store with the whole India map, and we put the that state identity Pakoda name. So that brings customer consistent with, they are like, I wanted to test this, I wanted to test it. If they want your own authentic Pakoda, that is there already. Your state the identity is there already. But if you wanted to try, because in food industry people wanted to try, right? If you wanted to try North Indian, South Indian, East West Coast, which Odisha also I have introduced. Then Kolkata side wala bhi ek मैंने introduce किया है. So these type, see, you need to introduce first the main product that should be like we can say the Colgate, right? The daily need product, जो कि लोगों को पहले से पता है, people can resonate easily, and they want varieties of product as well to test it. So food industry is like that, and we have innovated these kind of product. So, and automatically I need to convey any message. The message came from the product innovation itself. People can automatically resonate that way. They are introducing new products every month or 2 months, right? So they wanted to understand means how your R&D team is working. So likewise, I don't have R&D team. I am only going to that state and eating those pakodas. So these kind of things. So if you are working that much hard, so you don't need to convey any message. So message went automatically through your new innovative products.
Firstly, that is really inspiring, sir. I definitely want to try a pakoda now. So,
Aniket, you were okay with eating all the roadside pakoda? Health was good?
Some sacrifice. So we now I have
try sir's pakoda now. They're hygienic now.
They are not hygienic, but somewhat we need to do that. तो बोलते हैं ना, एक सॉरी बट बोलते हैं ना कि अगर कमल निकालना है तो कीचड़ में उतारना पड़ेगा.
Yes. Agree.
So moving on to Gavin, sir. So, sir, can you share your experience and your examples about how Dr. Reddy's Laboratories adapted their brand's identity into this new market for a targeted audience?
So I think one thing, as I mentioned, that and I think we can all recognize that health is something which is transformed over the years. We have moved from cure to care sort of continuum, I think, in the past 10 to 15 years. And I'd just like to give an example across pharma that way. You sort of see that, again, we've moved from health to wellness. We've moved from sort of, overall care and health of the body. What I believe is pharma has evolved in that sense is moving from mainstream therapy to something that will solve for health and wellness, like getting into nutraceuticals, getting into probiotics. These are the areas which were really untouched, which were more in terms of, very restricted to cure, because they are all supportive therapies. What I see is at various organizations, and if you see pharma across a whole, you see a lot of companies venturing into wellness spaces. That is what is actually giving giving us the insight of where the consumers are actually resonating. As simple as in the market of probiotics, because I worked there. If I go to my grandmother and I tell her, I said that, I have a stomach upset, what she will tell me, she'll like, take a bowl of curd, eat, you'll be fine. But the understanding is that in those days, there were not a lot of external conditions that used to, lead to some of the other illness. It was very easy to solve for. But this time, as for Aniket mentioned, 14 different flavors of Pakoda, which means 14 different states. Imagine the impact on gut microbiota across these 14 different states. So, a bowl of curd may not solve that. Therefore, I'm sure Aniket must have gone to a doctor to ask him for, to take care of my diarrhea or something like that. So I think that's how pharma has evolved. One. Second is the overall focus on a body as a whole. If you also go and see that there are a lot of new products coming in that talk about as simple as gummies for hair. That is what it was introduced as. Now you have gummies for mental health. You have gummies for better skin. That's how we see evolution coming in. So long story short, I think the consumer has changed. What marketing stood for is what we used to tell the customer. But I think what marketing stands for at this point in time is what another customer tells you another customer about your identity. That's the change of game, change of landscape. And I think particularly across industries, and I've seen that with pharma, that we have adapted to these situations. You see a lot of beyond the wellness sort of space building, and I think it's an exciting space to be in also. And at the same time, the core values, I think that's what everyone is standing for, and that's what consumers are expecting from companies, to be very honest. If I say I'm innovative, but I'm only innovating in one pond, they really don't care about me. I sort of have to ensure that I'm covering every aspect in one way or the other. There was a big philosophy of being a big fish in a big ocean, but ideally that ocean has divided. And if you're really not recognizing it at this point in time, you're sort of going to lose that competitive advantage. So that's how, we are trying to stay relevant, trying to give the customer what he wants, but at the same time ensuring that giving him a surprise that we care for him at a wellness level sort of thing. So that's how we're building, at least what I can see in the pharma that's happening.
Thank you, sir. So now moving on to Sailaja ma'am. So ma'am, what role does data and research play in crafting an authentic brand identity?
Okay. Data and research, when you talk about other companies, that means when I talk about my clients, for them it plays a huge role. That's where they get all their communication ideas or how relatable it is to the end user. Imagine you're coming out with a product and you are releasing big banners and advertisements, and there's no connect between the end user and your product. No matter how much you spend, it goes waste. You don't get that much back. However, when it is supported with strong data from the horse's mouth, what the consumer needs, and then you come out with relatable communication strategies, that helps you to connect, and then the product sales, you see there is an impact. We are the voice of the customer. We know the market pulse. How nicely we associate and give connotations and give it back to the client, and how much he can derive from it and come out with his own strategies, that is totally data and research driven. Without that, I'll not say 100%, 90%, they will fall flat, because such is the richness of the data. It also depends on how authentic the data is. It's not about googling on or asking your AI, tell me what is going to happen to this product, and it says some random things and you believe in it. It is actually going to the market where your product is going to be launched, figuring it out from them. And then, like for example, Cipla was launching Sp Safe some time ago. If they had just put it onto the wellness thing into the medical store, how many of us who are working would go and pick it up? Nobody knows. Awareness ही नहीं है, reachability दूर की बात है, but you don't even know. The small thing like being aware, you need research. So when they did a qualitative and quantitative research, and they found out कि at the medical store, if they can put up banners, or there were other tricks which were given, because if which today some amount of market share is captured by PSAFE. If it's not zero, earlier it was zero. So to build that also you need data and research. This is what I would talk about data research when I'm talking about clientele. And when I talk about myself as a research services and company, data and research again helps me because I need to be in vogue with what's happening outside. Online panels chal rahe, online research chal raha. How much alpha can I give back? Is it 90%? I talk with 95% confidence right now. But when I do online, am I still that much confident? How do I build that? How robust can that be? How much can I club the social data with the real data and make it more useful to the client? So all this also helps me, and I have to be in tap with what's happening and with the market by myself also to be able to tell my clients, you do this, you do that, or this is the other way you want to do. If there is a quick time gap, like always when you talk about research, most clients have only I needed it yesterday wala attitude. Nobody says मेरे पास 6 महीने हैं आप करके दो. Nobody does that research. So when they come with that mindset, I also, because I'm a service provider, I can't shut my company, right? I need to be open. I need to take that with a pinch of salt and provide him solutions with which he can come out and give me that business also. So if I have to retain companies like Bajaj, who's been with us age old, my first project as a startup way back 2003 was Procter and Gamble. So to reach these big names, what you need is data and research. Be there at the right time, prove yourself. Don't lose heart. I am a big fish, I agree, Dr. Reddy's, but small fish, innovative research, but in a big ocean. All of us get a chance to be there, but we need to rightly grab it and be there. We cannot say no. We can't afford saying no to a business. So with that, data and research has a huge role to play for not now, in the coming years also. No matter AI, no matter what you talk, you can't kill research. Without that, nobody, even AI can't perform without research. So I believe it is very useful and very, very strong thing for all the clienteles. They have to rely on it.
So, ma'am, I have a small doubt. So, can you recommend any tools for like new startups right now to do their data and research things?
See, by yourself, if you do research, all of us come with some human telepathy and gut feel, like Aniket did. He did with his own gut feel and his own research. What we do, we keep Googling. You don't need tools. You need good analytical skills, which each person is informed with. But how well we use it or how much we trust ourselves is something what you validate with a third party research. See, when you're individual, when you don't have that much finances, like students do research day in, day out. How do they do it? They do it by their own a small circle of people asking that come to a point, right? So for them, there will be no tools. They will not be able to handle that. But with their gut feel, the hypothesis they form, they validate that and they come back, right? So that's how every startup, because they would not want to spend on any research outside, they would do their own research. Why I would want to take Pakoda business? Because there is a market for Pakoda. What is the market for Pakoda? He must have already Googled. So there, how much will be this much? And where is the footfall? That's where so the flow is very clear in everybody's mind. So the tools won't help them. It's their own analytical skills. And if you talk about tools, there are SPSS tools, statistical tools, what you can use. But then all of them have to be statistically strong to use such tools and come out with the insights from there. However, for a startup, it will be their own hypothesis or the gut feel with which they will do their own Google secondary research and come out with what they want to.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. So moving on to Agnes, ma'am, I have a question for you. So what are the key elements you look for when evaluating a brand's identity for improvement or enhancement?
Okay, taking clues from basically what Sailaja said. So I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So the main essence basically lies on to address or to assess the brand recognition and the recall value that they have in the market or among their existing customers, or the customers that are already in the sales pipeline, right? To have that or to assess that, definitely surveys and feedback and then doing a lot of market research helps to understand where their company or where their product is basically currently standing, right? I mean, how they are tracking their market share, what is their comparison between their competitor services and products, and also what is their position in the particular market, right? And customer surveys and feedback to basically understand what their customers or the customers that are there in the sales pipeline understand about their understand or under I mean understand of the brand that they are pitching to them, right? For example, a salesperson can basically go and have or conduct a general or a normal sales call, but right after the sales call, if you share a feedback form with the clientele, right, or the clients, you'll actually get to understand how effective the sales call was, right? Or how or what was the or what are the parameters that the customer or that particular client were able to understand from that particular sales call. Like, a salesperson can just go on and just conduct a call because these people are very aggressive, they know how to pitch in and so. But if the other person cannot understand, and if the brand does not understand what the client is understanding, or what the client or what the value that the sales call is actually creating on that particular client's mind, we'll not be able to improve our sales cycle. Also, we'll not be able to improve our the way we conduct these calls also, right? And also we have to also do or conduct a lot of brand sentiment analysis surveys, where we employ different types of sentimental analysis tools. Say for D2C companies, it could be on their website, or say for fintech companies like us, we can run surveys or sentiment analysis through our support and delivery teams to understand the kind of impression we are making or bringing on our customers that we are already working with, or the customers have already pitched, or the customers that have already bought things from us in case of a D2C brand or a consumer brand, right? Now, these smaller things will basically help us driving sales and build an understanding on what customer loyalty is to us, right? Now, speaking of, we should also see the kind of social media engagement we have, right? Because a particular brand might not be able to go and converse with every individual that's there in the market, but as a whole, what they can do is they can publish content that their target audience resonate with or engage with the most through their social media, and the engagement rate that happens on their social media handles would give the brand an understanding key what is the consumption, or how likely the target audience is consuming or understanding what the brand is trying to say, right? Now, these are one, two, three things that we should, or any brand at any particular coming from any particular industry, maybe FMCG, or coming from D2C brands, they should go through, or have these two or three activities to understand where they are standing in terms of customer loyalty, and what kind of a change they need to implement to drive better sales in their organizations.
Thank you, ma'am. So I have another question for Aniket, sir.
Okay.
So, sir, what role does social media play in building and maintaining brands like proper Pakoda, and how do you identify yourself? Like, is social media promotion really important? What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, nowadays this is a digital era. Actually, and after COVID, everyone who are not on the social media, they also on just searching for the any brands. If you introduce yourself, okay, so they are not willing to understand who are you, where are you from. They just wanted to go and Google your name first. These kind of social impact is going on in the market. And see, so when I started my brand, so I thought in terms of the customer mindset. Okay, because if someone wanted to search my store, where they will go? They will go on Google only. That is only one way right now, right? Either or, of if someone wanted to take a franchise of mine, they will go and research about website or the social media, what are the activities are there. Okay, so if your social media presence is there, and if you generated such kind of content strategically, then you don't need to sell more. Okay, so actually I have learned that is a sell less. You don't need to sell. People are like sell, 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 sell. You don't need to sell. You need to position yourself on social media or whatever your presence, offline, online, both way. It's not only the social media presence you should maintain. You should maintain both presence. See, it's like I always mentioned there are 6-7 types of stages. If someone look at to your store, any brand in the market, first your social media presence, in social media accounts, website and everything, Google and everything is there, right? Second, your exterior of your store or office or whatever the thing is there. Third, your interior. And fourth, your product. And fifth and the last and the most important, how people are there, means how staff, let's say your staff is most important. If you've done social media marketing, if you've done your exterior, interior, your product good, but your staff is not friendly, then your brand means like close in no time, right? And that are the things people are looking at the brand in terms of logo, color and name only, and they are not working on those aspects which are the very important. That's why in India I have a statistics that 92% businesses are closed in within first 5 years, even though 70% close in first year only. So that is a big difference. See, I just wanted to add up 2 points here clearly, which I just pop up in my mind when Sailaja ma'am asked the question about my health, right? This is actually that was went unconsciously. But now when Sailaja ma'am asked the question, I just thought for a minute and I realized that I am looking for a problem and I wanted to put the solution in the market through my brand. So what was the problem? Problem is the unhygienity, unorganization, right? These are the two problems I face. So they are using 3 days oil continuously. That's why if I was not unhealthy, I was not healthy due to eating pakodas on those thelas, then this is the problem. So I wanted to bring the solution through my brand. That is the thought behind the traveling to the states. And I was not guilty by compromising my health, because that was done. Now I'm not physically but mentally I'm healthy, because I have courage and I'm confident to tell everybody that my brand is hygiene, my brand is maintaining hygiene. So these are the things you need to understand. And second point, that everyone are actually mistaken. So Dr. Reddy is a big brand. People are looking at the big brand that is there now. But what is the backstory? They are not looking at the story, journey, or what they have faced their in the their journey. So Amazon started from the home garage, right? Facebook started from the college. So you need to see, Sailaja ma'am told about the data. You don't need to go here and there or the third party to collect the data. You need to understand the problem and what solution you wanted to bring on the table. That will automatically show you the path, how you can collect the data, how you can do your research. So these are the points only I wanted to share, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really insightful. Thank you for that. So my next question to Gavin sir. So sir, how do you measure the success of Dr. Reddy's brand identity strategies?
That's a question which could be difficult to answer, but I will try my best. Firstly, I think to the previous, I think as Aniket was speaking, and he said that people normally go and Google. I actually went and Googled, proper Pakoda, and I'm sure that as Aniket mentioned that the unhygienic is something that he wanted to solve for. I think the social media website also says that. I looked at wonderful pakodas, which already close to 4 o'clock. So, but Aniket, great. Aapka jo, as a sort of vision, and you wanted to create the identity for the brand. That is what it's speaking even on your Google searches. So, hats off. I'm a sole customer. Next time Pune aunga, definitely I will come visit your store. To answer your question, I think the identity at the end of the day is well, it's a very qualitative, very subjective sort of area that you look at. From a point of view, whether your brand stands as a hero, brand stands as an outlaw, brand stands for maybe conserving, being eco-friendly sort of thing, is more in terms of a more subconscious sort of area where you look at something and then that recalls. What we basically do from a communication window in order to ensure that our brands, our key messages, for example, our messages are not directly spoken to our customers. We have the biggest strength of ours is our field force. So what our field force is communicating, whether that's being assessed or no. And as Sailaja also mentioned, that one thing, you do your own research, but you always have a bias for everything. As a brand manager, I will always say all my communication, everything is green. But we need a third party coming in who is equipped in order to tell us that, boss, you are telling, you're saying this, but your customer is not sort of resonating with it. How we assess it is basically 5 parameters. We look at relevance, we look at believability, we look at uniqueness, we look at intention to prescribe, and we look at whether you will actually prescribe. So based on these, you sort of then understand the scores. Whether your brand is relevant, yes, it's working in a cardiovascular space, it's working in a diabetes space. Whether it's believable, whether I have enough of information to prove that it's working in that indication. Is your brand unique? To be very honest, I think solving uniqueness in such a cluttered space across industries, the biggest gold mine these days is your customer mindshare. Baki sona, tel, sab kuch mil jayega from everywhere else. I think customer mindshare is your biggest goal, which uniqueness also solves for. So you do understand this, and that's how you define whether your needle is moving towards your brand, from zero to a hero sort of thing, where you are, how you assess it. So I think, as rightly said, that a brand manager's biasness will not tell you whether you are improving. I will always be in the green. But we need sort of market research partners to help us, to give us a reality check that you think you're saying this and it is going to work because you feel it's in your head. But actually, when you go on field, and what customers think is what they will tell you. So take it with a pinch of salt, mirchi maybe from Aniket's store, and ensure that you go back, make those changes on suggestions, and then move the needle further. That's how the sort of assessment is done, just to put it in a short way.
Thank you, sir. So next I have a question for Sailaja ma'am. So ma'am, in this rapidly changing landscape, how does innovative research services ensure its brand identity remains relevant and resonant?
I think in tits and bits, I've already answered this question. We are there for 20 years now. And now I'll be tabbing Gavin because I'll be his media partner very soon in research. But how do we keep ourselves is only giving the trust what the client looks at. See, when you need something when you look at a research partner, you look for somebody who can be the devil. He has to be a devil. He can't be sugar coated. So then the essence of research will go away if I be sugar coated. So they also, like Bajaj, who's been working with us for so many years, so many times their research R&D fell flat for some reason or the other. But that saved a lot of bucks for the company, right? Crores of company, when rolling goes on, you realize it's not, we don't become a devil for them. Because we are a good research partner, they still continue to partner with us. उस समय ब्रांड मैनेजर को, मार्केटिंग मैनेजर को लगता है कि या they have, मैं इतना सोच रहा था green ही चलेगा, and green fell flat. So green was not a connotation for the user. He felt blue would have been better because it was aquatic in nature. So blue relates to it. So these things, when they come in, but how nicely I say it. See, I cannot be negative in my presentations. So that is an art of research also. Because there's a lot of hard work the brand managers, the marketing people, everybody puts in. So only for one research partner to come and say the market is not liking it, it cannot be it can't come in a platter like that. There will be an organic flow of that presentation. Some bits are good, some are not so good, some are feelers. And then we suggest, we always call it suggestion for improvement. If it is a green signal, it is always there for them to see. They're all happy because the ratings will be all 4 and 5. So when they see there is a little bit deviation somewhere, there is always a mid path which is taken, because so much money on mind and everybody puts effort. Nobody earns salary sitting in a cushion chair. They also go out and earn. So for us to get that trust with each company, all the brands I'm working with, VIP or all big brands, they have that trust and that comfort what they build with the media research partners as they see in us. So over years, it didn't happen overnight. When I started, I was zero. I didn't know whether I will survive or not. I'll be honest, I thought I'll shut down and go back to my corporate in 1,000 days. But that didn't happen. PNG gave us the census project and we went on, and today we are successfully sitting across India with 20 years of experience. And I'm not very digital presence mera itna acha nahi hai. Like, I haven't done too much homework. But today the need of the hour is you need to be digitally present. So this year onwards, we are there digitally. We have hired a digital personnel just to be in. But services, you cannot get business from digital. See, a Pakoda, you will see, you will like ambience and you will go. For services, you will not see anything. Why will you go? Until and unless you know how much essence is there in me, how much insights are there in me, which will value add to your thing. That's when you will come to me, right? If there is nothing, you are just seeing the aesthetics and the ambience of something, what will you come? You will not find anything, right? So I think for us, it is for us to be in trend or anything is to be match up to the expectations of the marketing dynamics. I need to be know-how of Indian market, because that's where I belong to. Rural India, what is happening there? Where is Geo really reaching out to rural India? Is the network there? So when the research centers are chosen, I have the know-how and I can recommend. So when the recommendations come from me and when I talk sense, I think the trust invariably gets built and it keeps multiplying. When I say I don't mean myself, it's my team. All of us together, when we have that know-how, how much we are in adding value to the customers, that's when we slowly, brick by brick, build our trust over the years, and we hope to be there longer. Pandemic had hit us very badly. I think all these people, even Dr. Reddy's lab will agree, because no research was done. Everybody was at home. Gut feel pe kaam ho raha tha, and everybody thought of research ki zarurat nahi hai. It was a zero business year for us. So imagine a small company when big people were shelving off their half staff. We actually stood tall is only, I think that tells the story that we have been transparent. There has been belief. Clientele believed in us and VIP bought us back. That was the first client during pandemic to pull out. They said, you're not shutting down. So the belief the client has in you when they hear, oh, these people, and it's not the brand, as Aniket said, it's not only the brand, it's also the people. So there's people value, the face value, all these, the staff, how on field, how my people are, how much resonance they can have from them, how much belief they are getting. All this added on to us being till here. And I think this will over years remain same. It won't change for research industry, because we need to build our intellect skill year on year, bit by bit, know what's happening and deliver the best to the client at all times. And we believe in that. And we do not differentiate between a 10,000 project or a 60 lakh project. For us, both are same. And that has taken us to where we are today. And I hope, touchwood, if this will remain and we will go year on year. Thank you.
That will really happen, ma'am. You will go forward definitely with all our best wishes to you. And thank you everyone for this wonderful session. It was really great interacting with all of you. I am afraid that our time here is done, but I hope we can all work with each other again in future. And thank you so much for joining this session. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.